Good morning to you, Lagos. You are listening to Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. It is now time to delve into the world of business inside of Business Express. Today brought to you by Stanbic, IBTC. In the studio with me, as per usual, just leading the charge in terms of business news. Rotus, good morning.
Good morning, Folu, Lagos, and everyone else. Good morning.
Excellent. Was that pale pink you have on this morning?
Yeah. You know how it is.
No, we like it.
Very
It's
random.
good. No, it's necessary. Lagos, send in your messages to us. Use the hashtag BusinessExpress981 up on Twitter. That way I can read out your messages. But also do feel free to send us a WhatsApp message to the number 0809 444-0981.
Thank you, Folu. I want to welcome Gbolahan Taiwo from Stanbic. Gbolahan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rotus. Thanks for having me.
All right, great to have you in here. All right, so really quickly, the market was down yesterday. It's been up and down, up and down. So it was down yesterday 0.35%. 30,704 points is where the stock market closed. We're down by 19.7% for the year. Forte Oil was our top gainer. Diamond Bank second place, now at $1.25. But there'll be no Diamond Bank Access Bank discussions today because we've beaten that thing to death.
It's certainly not dead yet. Don't worry.
I know, right? So there's some interesting things on the conference call with Access, but we're going to leave that alone because what we really want to talk about today, though, is the unemployment numbers that came out just yesterday. I was surprised to see them because, well, remember, we're talking. The Statistician General, Dr. Yemi Kali, initially said that there wasn't any money.
They have funds, yeah.
They didn't have any funds to release the unemployment figures, and it's been a year since Q3 2017, yes, that we had figures. But thankfully the numbers came out, and Gbolahan, let's go through this. So they are quite sobering. The figures are quite sobering. Where do we start? I think first of all it's increased, yes,
yep.
From 18.8% in the third quarter of last year to 23.1 this year. I think the numbers now about 20 million people in Nigeria without work. Let's go through this. What are your thoughts as far as the figures that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean unemployment rate in itself, that means people without jobs,
right,
increased from 18 to about 23%. But I mean, when you look at the total unemployment, so unemployment and underemployment, remember, I mean, before Dr. Yemi Kale came in as a statistician in general, there was a different reporting way where they reported it. So when you look at that, it was just combined, and then you would see say, I mean, in that instance, what you'd have just seen was 43%
right,
unemployment rate,
right,
because they would have put in underemployment and unemployment together. But now, the way it is broken down, it shows you the underemployment and then the unemployment
right.
rate. Now, I just want to unpack those numbers a little bit, and let's go back to 2010. Now, when we look at 2010, the total unemployment rate then, unemployment, underemployment, was 21.4%. And out of that 21.4%, 5%, 5.1 was the only unemployment rate. So out of 21, 5 was unemployment, and then 16.3 thereabout was underemployment. Okay. Underemployment meaning people that don't work up to 40 hours a week. For instance, a PhD holder that is a driver,
right,
all those kind of stuff. But when you now move forward to 2015, for instance, in 2015 Q4, that number was 10.4 for unemployment, and now it's at 20.
So it's doubled. It
is doubled basically since 2015, and obviously we can blame the recession for that. I mean, the oil price crashed, recession happened, people started losing jobs. We know the number of jobs that was lost even in the banking sector, for instance, during that period. And I mean, my initial thoughts were that perhaps you've seen some recovery. Maybe it hasn't been as bad, because I mean, when you look at the PMI data for the year, right, that we also track and follow, it shows you that there's, I mean, particularly for the private sector, there's some form of improvement. People are, having to hire a few more people than they did because they laid off. But imagine a company that say laid off 50 people last year, and maybe have now hired 10 more people this time, or 20 more people. It's still a deficit compared to 50 people previous year. But I mean, the numbers are not very encouraging. The numbers don't look good. I mean, and it just feels like like my consumer analysts always say, that the consumer is really pressured.
Right.
I mean, and the pressure is still there. I mean, if you have loads of people, like 21% without jobs, and another 23% or so underemployed, and it's a staggering number, to be honest.
Now, and that's a staggering number. Look at youth unemployment. It gets even worse. Apparently, if we combine youth unemployment and underemployment, we get about, I think it's 55% total. If you put it. So the picture, I wanted to get your thoughts. The picture for the youth is half of the youth population in Nigeria don't have work.
No, so I mean, so that's it. I mean, it's easy. You see, how many people do you know? I mean, I'm sure if I ask you now,
do you know
how many people
without
jobs?
Right, exactly. That's
or people that have
work.
lost their jobs
Right.
since 2015, since the recession, or people that don't have work at all. I mean, we always continue to complain about it. There are not so many industries. No many industries. I mean, when you look at banking sector, oil and gas, and that's about it.
Right.
I mean, maybe telecoms. I mean, to represent another part. So where else are they? In the manufacturing business, not so much.
Exactly.
Not so much, and that's an untapped potential. I mean, you have a lot of things that can still be done in the manufacturing sector. I mean, we have steel, we have a lot of things in the industries. We have a lot of that. I mean, and agriculture. And you look at the agricultural sector, a lot of it is still not mechanized. A lot of it is still very subsistence.
Right.
I mean, and you still find a lot of farmers still using hoes and cutlasses to get things done.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have not really moved up to the level where we're supposed to be in terms of getting people employed or gainfully employing people. I mean, I will tell you much. I mean, because of this unemployment, we've seen a lot of entrepreneurs spring up.
Right.
You've seen a lot of people, say, man, I just got out of the university and I can't get a job. I might as well start selling
this or that,
this or that, or buy stuff from me and sell to this one. I mean, the people that could bake, or some people naturally go to baking school and just say, oh man, let me start baking or makeup. We've seen a lot of that, and it's good. I mean, and you need those to also drive things in the economy. But I mean, from the perspective of the overall fundamentals, you need more industries. We really need to start producing something. I think that's the bottom line. Because the more we start to produce in-house, the more people can get jobs, the more people can get, and that's why at times, I tend to always feel that maybe there are some of these industries that will probably need a lot more investment in, perhaps in terms of privatization.
Right.
I mean, if you can get some people that have money to come into those sectors, put investment in, put more money into the sectors, those jobs will come. They will come naturally, because when you have a similarly inefficient sector and similarly inefficient industry right now, you just need to pump a few more money, get those guys working, get it producing. You need more people,
and
definitely.
They'll hire more people.
And they will hire more people, and those things will come.
We've got a few messages that have come through. Pappy K says up on WhatsApp, no wonder Okayemo and his team are keen on pushing for money to get us the unemployment rate. He said, well, we're something 23%. Personally, I'm suspecting that this is being understated.
Yeah, in fact, and I didn't want to get into that, but Gbolahan, let me quickly, and I don't want to put you on the spot with that, but
but you're going to.
Unfortunately, when we have to mention this, for some, we have to take the MBS at their word because they've been working very hard. But you suspect that these figures might be understated and it could be higher. I mean, not that there's anything nefarious going on there, but it's just that with where things are, is that possible?
Can I pledge the fifth?
Okay, we'll leave that alone.
We've got more messages coming through. Benga Kamu says, are the budget estimates as laid before the House yesterday enough to stimulate this economy on the path to growth? And is it enough for a population of this country? Because the budget shows recurrent and debt servicing takes a huge chunk out of it, leaving little or nothing for capital or infrastructural development. And said so all the figures being thrown about by officials of this government on jobs created come to naught in view of the current unemployment statistics. Rotus, he ends by saying, I'm scared about the alarming number of youth that are unemployed. It may come to haunt us in the near future.
Benga, thank you. Yeah, we briefly talked about the budget. We didn't want to get into it because there were not much details, but it's smaller than this year.
Yeah, so I mean, see, to the comment that was made on social media, I mean, see, recurrent expenditure would almost always be bigger than capital expenditure because you have a very big labor force in the government, and then they would always have to pay debt. I mean, they always have to pay salaries and also have to pay debt, right? And which again is one of our own concerns when it comes to the government's financing, because there seems to be a lot of borrowing going on,
right? And
then you're not making as much money. So when you're looking at your debt service to revenue ratio, it's over 60%.
Right.
And that's concerning. And for me, when I look at the budget and I see this very ambitious, similarly ambitious revenue assumption, and the spending doesn't seem to want to decrease, and I'm like, there needs to be a balance, right? I mean, I understand running the budget deficit. Of course, you can always borrow to plug the hole in the budget deficit, but as well, you need revenues to go up. So what are we doing to drive up revenue significantly? Why are we just waiting on oil prices? Oil prices have shown that, I mean, even in the next few years, we might not see $100 oil.
Right.
US is producing at records 11.6 million barrels per day. Russia is producing Soviet record at 11.4 million barrels per day. The president of the US does not want oil prices to go up because he feels like it impacts the US consumers negatively because they have a more reflective structure in terms of the pricing. So I mean, oil prices might not particularly go high, and oil revenues might not particularly go as high as they expect. So we need to find non-oil revenues. We need to find it from somewhere. We need to start producing.
Thank you for that, Gbolahan.
I'll round up with a couple of messages. Prince says, are the unemployment figures a result of people losing their jobs or more people getting into the employment age bracket? Also, what about our rate of population? We need to control our population growth. Let's have a national policy on the number of children like China.
That one, it's more people coming into the labor force, right? We can't, the labor force is not able to absorb the growing number of people coming into the labor force. That's the issue.
Growing
Yeah,
very fast.
just imagine the number of graduates that turn out
every year. Right.
And Henry Manuel says, I read a report of CBN's commercial agreed credit scheme that it has poured billions into, and it created 60,000 jobs between 2009 and 2016. That tells the story of inefficient resource allocation.
Sad day. Sorry everyone, but we have to go into this. It's Gbolahan, Taiwo, Stanbic. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, thank you everybody for your messages as well.
All right, Lagos, do keep listening though, because at 7:30 it's detailed newspaper analysis time inside of Freshly Pressed, and we are going to go into that budget in more detail, so don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Want to break the headphones?
Try not to, actually. Try not to.
Alright, folks, very nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Have a good day.